Hey, yo, what's the deal? Miss your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag. You know what I'm saying? As of this recording, it is 9:36 p.m., March 17th, 2025. You know what I mean? And right now, I'm just here chilling, getting ready for work for tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm about to shave in a bit. You know what I mean? Get my work, get my work clothes, prepared for tomorrow. You know what I mean? And just rock out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, today there was no news. There was barely any fucking news. There was nothing. Like, it was pretty much dead. You know what I mean? Today, I guess because Raw was in the afternoon that, it was just very unusual and shit. It was extremely unusual. It was like, the only thing that we found out was about fucking, the TNA WWE, relationship. And also, I had just read some news about the reaction from WWE about John Cena. Of course they're excited. Of course. Like, this is something that a lot of people would never thought that they would see. He was fucking great tonight. I mean, he was great. And then also we heard about what's taking Hikuleo so long to debut in WWE and such, And my thing is with that, because they also, Sean Ross Sapp also talked about Lance Anoa'i. And, I said, you know what? I have a better chance of seeing Lance more than fucking, than Hikuleo, but it's whatever. So I'm deciding to cap off the night with with my series, which is wrestlers that was far ahead of their time. 13, mind you, 13. And of course, this guy pretty much is, he is a prime example of, he's a restless wrestler. You know what I mean? He is a restless wrestler. And I say this, Dean Malenko is a guy, first and foremost, Dean Malenko is a Jersey guy. Shout out to Jersey, right? Even though he was from Tampa, he's originally born and raised in Jersey, right? And, like I say, he for his size, like he was unique because he basically specialized in nothing but submissions. You know what I mean? He was a straight shooter. Like, he was a shooter. You know what I mean? He catch you with that Texas cloverleaf, is a wrap for you like Reynolds. You know what I mean? And he can go with the best of them that, could go hold for hold. He didn't call himself the man of 1,000 holds for nothing. Like, he, for a little dude like him, shit, he held his own. I mean, the matches that he had with Rey Mysterio in WCW, in ECW too, but it was WCW that was unique, B. I remember watching those matches. Shit, they even gave those matches on fucking Worldwide and Saturday night. You know what I mean? Like, when we had VHSs, right? And I'm going back all the way far, but fuck it. When we had VHSs, you know what I mean? Like, I would record those matches and such. So when I got back home later that night, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would watch it with some Chinese food and just enjoy some pure wrestling. Like, these motherfuckers put on a clinic. Him and Rey Mysterio both put on a clinic. And I also made a video about, how Rey Mysterio is ahead of his time. And it's there. With Dean Malenko, the matches that he had, like, hold for hold, like, he was one of the best wrestlers in the fucking game. Hold for hold. He wasn't doing anything where, he was doing like flips and all that shit. No, it was basically, lock for lock. And you got wrestlers who basically emulate that style perfectly. I mean, Bryan Danielson comes to mind. Whenever I think of Dean Malenko, I think of Bryan Danielson. The only thing with Bryan Danielson is that Bryan Danielson, does a lot of flips and shit. Now, I mean, Bryan Danielson to me he's more of a hybrid of both Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit, if you think about it. You know what I mean? With some aerial moves and such, right? But, Dean Malenko, like I said, Dean Malenko was that dude. You know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken, I think he held the United States Championship. Let me take a look. Hold on. Yeah, I knew I wasn't bugging out. Like he did, he did have that United States Championship. One thing about Dean Malenko, especially in his WCW run, where WCW was very fucking crazy when they started using stock, like stock themes for their entrances and shit. You know what I mean? They started using like free, things that you see in commercials and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like it's just crazy. Oh, hold on real quick. I'm getting a phone call. Hold on. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. Someone had given me a call, but they used a lot of stock music and such, and he had his theme. I remember his theme, was on ESPN at the time. Like, ESPN will always give Sports Center, they would give like the top 10 plays and shit. And they always have his theme there. Ding, 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 ding. But, even though he didn't have charisma, and WWE tried with Dean Malenko. When he came to WWE in 2000, right, with Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, and Perry Saturn, like they tried. Remember, he was like heavyweight champion and such, and he was perfect. He was perfect in the Four Horsemen. He was perfect. You know what I mean? He was perfect. Like I said, that size, don't let the size fool you. Like, hold for hold. Like, he was really fucking great. And he could basically, you plug him in. You actually plug him in into today's day and age. Like, he'd be world champion because, people go for a lot of, lock wrestling and such. That mat technician wrestling and shit. You know what I mean? Like, put him in with someone like a Bryan Danielson or like a fucking Zack Sabre Jr. You don't really got those wrestlers anymore. If you think about it, you really do not have wrestlers who goes, hold for hold. You don't. Now it's just more spot. You know what I mean? Like, you don't got those wrestlers, like I said, who is submission wrestlers. I don't know if people view submission wrestling as boring and such. I don't. I mean, I really don't, but I guess, it's a very, very, very hard, question to answer because, some of your favorite wrestlers are, submission wrestlers. I mean, Bret Hart. Shit, imagine Dean Malenko and Bret Hart in their prime. Forget about it. Now, I mean, hold for hold. Like, like he was no trouble. And I used to always think that Dean Malenko was also a graduate from the dungeon because all the moves that he was doing. But no, he really wasn't. I mean, he was trained by his father. You know what I'm saying? And, but that just shows how great Dean Malenko is, or he was. You know what I'm saying? Like he was that good. Like, charisma wise, he didn't have it, but he did let his wrestling speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's all that matters. But also, like I said, the thing that definitely hampered him was his size, right? It was his size. But look at now. You know what I mean? Look at wrestlers now. Like, you got wrestlers now who basically were the same size as him. And, and they became big stars. You know what I mean? You pluck him in the 90s and put him in 2015, 2025 and 24 and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I think he'd be a bigger star than what he was at that point. You know what I mean? And again, like, Bryan Danielson took a lot from him. Fucking, Zack Sabre Jr. Anyone who had a lot of, submission, who's submission eccentric. Definitely took a lot from him for sure. Maybe like, there's plenty. There's plenty. But those are the main two I could think of. But yeah, man, Dean Malenko was a beast. He was a motherfucking beast, B. You know what I mean? He was a beast. For his size, forget about it. What I should do is I should actually give you some matches that, on the description that I remember with Dean Malenko watching with him and Rey Mysterio and, oh, man, like he, like those matches, boy, in WCW specifically, These motherfuckers, they put on a clinic, especially like I said for the Cruiserweight Championship. Remember when they had the Cruiserweight Championship, the two finalists was Mysterio and Dean Malenko, right? And they just had match after match after match because you know you're not going to get a boring match out the two. The beautiful thing about those two is that, you know, different styles attract. And that was the perfect scenario for that, B. It was. It really, really was. You know what I mean? And as I'm changing the fucking channel and shit, like right now they're giving the fucking iHeart Music Awards. I mean, fuck iHeart. You know what I mean? Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? I'm also like changing the channel to the Knicks. Vince is in the fucking Vince is at Madison Square Garden. Fucking Vince McMahon is there. You know what I mean? So I'm going to definitely holler at y'all tomorrow. I hope there's some news. You know what I'm saying? I got my fingers crossed. So we shall see. All right? So I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace! Hey guys, real quick. So I rarely do this, but you know, I did say I was going to put the matches with Dean Malenko and Rey Mysterio. There's a lot that I remember that they had, a bunch. So if you just type in Dean Malenko versus Rey Mysterio WCW and Dean Malenko versus Rey Mysterio WCW Worldwide, like they got a shitload of matches, boy. Like they were like the perfect pairing for each other. They were perfect. They were the perfect dance partners for each other. Plain and simple. I just wanted to say that. All right, so I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. Peace.